I want to share with you all 3 versions of an exercise that I recently came up with, going from beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I quite like this exercise because it has a blend of a sort of mysterious sound and also a heroic quality. And when I'm practicing this, I also get to work a little more on my left hand than my right hand, which I always find is a great thing because by default, I notice myself over practicing the right hand and not paying attention to the left hand. All of these exercises are alternating between minor and major triads. I'll be going more into the details behind each exercise after the demonstrations. So let's first go into each exercise demonstrated in 6 different transpositions. For those of you interested in the theory behind the chord progression, it's relatively simple. We're first starting in A minor with a minor 1 chord. So this is an A minor triad, going to a major 5. So this is E major. And here is what's slightly different. Instead of playing a major 3 chord, which would be the most common thing, I'm changing that to a minor 3. So C minor, and then I'm going to a G major chord. You can consider it a major 7 chord within A minor still, or you can look at it as the 5 chord of the C minor chord, or you can also look at it as a minor 4, which is slightly altered, going to a major 1. The last major triad turns into a minor triad. And this is the beginning of the next transposition. For version 1, I first recommend playing all of these 3 notes of each triad together first. Hand separately, then break it up. So you're first playing the bottom note, then the middle note, then the top note. Same for the next chord. Take note of the fact that after the first triad, we're repeating that top note, going from the thumb to the 5th finger. And to get that to be smooth, you really don't need to do much other than bring these 2 fingers together. So bring it together instead of trying to switch over, if that makes sense. After this first iteration, the second version uses 4 notes in the left hand per chord instead of 3. Here are the chords: A minor, E major, C minor, G major. So it is basically a triad plus an octave on top or surrounding it. And this is broken up like so. So this third note here, which is the top of the triad, is repeated. Now, something that I noticed just now is that in the right hand, I tend to use mostly 5, 4, 3, 2. I don't always end with a thumb. Another variation that will help you practice and learn this is to break it up into 2 chords. So there are a lot of variations that you can play around with. In version 3, I am expanding each chord so that it is much wider. I might get used to that pattern first, and then just roll the tenths. And then work on those repeated notes. I would just stop after the repeat. So after 1, 2, until that's comfortable. I would also practice in tempo, just 2 chords at a time. Then moving on. I need to make a note about the rhythm, which I consider to be 10/16 rather than 5/8, because this is really divided into 2 halves. 1, 2, 1, 2. And if you count it in 5, that might be confusing. Alright, so I hope you all can try at least 1 or 2 or all 3 of these versions. Let me know how it goes down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thank you to my patrons over at Patreon. The bonus material patrons will receive a link to the PDF, to these exercises, among other things. And I will see you all in the next video.